Welcome to the Whiskey Vault Donation Day.
I'm Rex, he's Daniel, this is a whiskey, and he's just trotting out like just the worst little catchphrases. Are you ready,
Lord,
Betty?
This cork is a bit...
Because it hurt. This is what happened. The whiskey heard that bullshit.
It's like, I'm not coming out.
I want no part of this.
Seriously.
I want no
I think they got a cork that was slightly a little oversized for the...
I really was hoping you couldn't get it.
Okay, no, it was moving, but...
Because I'd be able to lord that over you.
This is Woody Creek Distillers Colorado Straight 100% rye whiskey. This is from Paul Weed?
Weed?
W-E-D-H-E.
Weed.
Paul Weed. Paul Weedy?
Paul Weed.
Paul Weed.
Paul Weed.
Paul Weed.
Paul Weed, Magnificent Bastard!
The thing we're known for on this show is our pronunciation. Okay.
We can't even, like...
Ooh!
So obviously, you know, some Scotches and Irish, well, we're not going to get the pronunciation right.
Or we just...
But most of the names
Yeah.
of people that have sent us the thing, we can't. So when you send a whiskey, phonetically spell your name. And we'll
It's like all the people who
still
got...
not get it.
It's all people who got really pissed off that we didn't pronounce Duluth correctly.
Yeah, but was it Minnesota?
Duluth.
Minnesota?
Duluth.
What are they going to do? Minnesota?
What are you gonna do, invade? What does Minnesota have? Like Kentucky spin the arms?
They got flipper feet. Over in Minnesota. They got the flipper feet. It's horrible.
Oh, they're gonna be going close to home with somebody in there. Well, it's going off the rails already.
So Kentucky and Minnesota. What do you got?
Colorado Straight Rise. Sorry guys, if this is your whiskey. At least you're not Minnesota. So these guys, Woody Creek, they started distilling, it's a trio. Mary and Pat Scanlon and Mark Kleckner founded it together.
Yeah.
It's just outside of Aspen, about a 15, 20-minute drive. Mm-hmm. And northwest. And they were making vodka. They won awards for their vodka. And then they expanded into whiskey, and they're making 100% rye mash.
Okay, fine. So, on the nose...
It is rye all day.
Classic rye spice, a little bit of that black anish.
And just times 10. Like, it is
it jumps
jumping
out. Jumps out of the glass here. This is coming in at 45% alcohol.
I mean, that is pine tree and...
Yeah. Now, the richness of these flavors, even on the nose, I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. This is like pine sol, but pine tree, fresh woods. But there's also a little bit of like a citrus in there.
This is like I'm going camping, but I brought my motor home, and I got a little.
Someone's been cleaning the.
Yeah, someone's been cleaning the motor home.
Faux wood countertops.
Yeah, with some.
The veneer.
Yeah.
With pledge, lemon pledge.
Yes.
All right, let's try it. Wow, that just goes down like candy.
Wow, it's so here's what I like about that at first blush.
Wow, there's no spiciness.
No. It's not that there's no spiciness. It's that the rye flavor, the spice is there. It swells up, but it doesn't reach this level of hotness.
Yeah, it doesn't get hot
spice.
or spiky.
So it's there. It swells up right up to that place where it feels rich.
It's rounded.
But it's not yet. It's rounded, but it's not bitey. It's not spiky. It's not spicy. But the flavors are there, and it feels like it's got a little bit of complexity too. I'm
getting a weird, like apple note to it.
What kind of apple?
I don't know apples that well, because I'm not a huge fan of apples, even though my wife grew up on an apple orchard.
You ever see Good Will Hunting?
Yeah.
How you like them apples?
How you like them apples?
I got a number.
How you like them apples? I'm digging this. I poured more because I
get a little bit of the oak, and still not finding that apple.
I'd be interested on what a rye drinker would think of this.
I'm getting more of a citrus, lemon, almost like a tangerine.
So I wonder, if rye was a category and the hardcore rye drinkers will go to really aggressive, spicy wiggle rye, right? And then and that's like the Isla of rye, right? Then this is the space side of rye.
So which was the wiggle that I have?
Old Sap.
It was the Old Sap.
Nightmares about it, yeah.
No, here's the thing though. Because if we were going to ever do an episode about the whiskeys that you absolutely have to try someday.
Yeah, you would want people to try that one?
I would.
Just because it's so off the wall?
Just because, for me, I do not like it. but I absolutely appreciate how weird it is.
Yeah, it would be like somebody who doesn't like Scotch trying Lafroig.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, you just got to try it because it's out there.
And because anything that is worthwhile is going to solicit some dramatic opinions.
Yeah.
My dramatic opinion for that leaves me very, very hopeful that there's a ton of people out there that with the Wiggle Old Sap you said, that may be the pinnacle of whiskey achievement for them.
I think our friend Kurt really likes it.
Who's
Kurt
that?
Miller, the Somm, who's trying to start Team Rye as inside the whiskey category.
Dude, in this community, good luck, man. I think we ran off all the rye
Would you
people.
drink this again, yes or
We
no?
ran off the rye people a long time ago.
Would you go back to this, yes or no?
Yeah, if I'm in a rye mood, once in a blue mood, I'm in a rye mood there.
I would pick it as an introduction to rye for some.
Oh, we have more things.
We got so many more things. These are from Taiwan. Rinse your glass. Okay,
Taiwan.
These are Omar. This is the Nantao Distillery.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly, but it's Taiwan.
Yeah.
This is a state-owned distillery.
Oh.
Yeah.
So if we don't like it...
They're going to send out government agents.
No. We just won't be allowed into the country.
Oh. Well, I don't have any plans to go to Taiwan anytime soon.
You kidding me? Taiwan's great. They got Taiwan.
They make lots of Hawaiian shirts.
Do they?
No. It's always say made in Taiwan.
Wait a
when
minute.
You're buying them in the...
Did our coasters on the bottom, the wood things we saw, does it say made in Taiwan?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Taiwan's the best.
They basically make everything.
Yeah. No, that's China.
So, no, it's Taiwan. Okay, so, these are interesting sample bottles.
Single malt whiskey. What
These are, by the way, no, they're both single malt. One is bourbon cask and one is sherry cask.
Okay.
So I'm thinking this one's the bourbon and that
You
one's
can
the
tell
sherry.
the sherry really added some redness into that whiskey.
Now this is from Michael Phelps.
The Michael Phelps?
Sure. Let's just believe that.
Michael Phelps, get your bottle. You magnificent bastard! He's probably so annoyed that he gets that.
Oh, I know. But it's like, why should I change my name? He's the one that sucks. All right.
You know what? Anybody that can smoke that much weed and win that many gold medals,
Oh, yeah.
it's pretty impressive.
That's right. Okay, so we're going to start with the bourbon cask. Don't open that yet. We're going to start with the bourbon cask. Then we're going to do the sherry cask finish. This is the bourbon cask finish, and it's supposedly Scottish style. They're using Forsyth stills and everything.
I'm getting a really, really unique saltiness in here.
Yeah, me too. Like,
It's not...
almost like the briny ocean scotches.
But it's
like,
not quite, though.
There's all the bourbony vanillas.
Well, you didn't explore that salty nose.
This is just a classic. It just smells and tastes like kind of a classic Highlandy, Speyside-y vanilla whiskey.
Man, there's
a little bit of salty pepper in there.
No. There's a note. It's like a salty, musty, oceanside note. Like a dock. I feel like I'm on a dock.
Yeah.
There's a dock, and then you get the dock smells in the air. There's a note of that I don't get from scotches. It's a different kind of salt.
So you know how culturally you get acclimated to certain flavors, right?
Yeah.
And so you approach something with certain flavors being vaguely invisible to you because they're so common, and certain flavors standing out to you because they're uncommon.
Right.
Right. I wonder the palate. Born, raised in Taiwan,
Yeah.
with a whole other base level of normal flavors, common flavors, and unique flavors.
Right.
I wonder if this is what's creating this slight weird flavor profile.
We need a token person from Taiwan
to tell us
what they're getting. This is 46%. I'm not getting... For me, if this was like 40, 41, 42, it's that level of smoothness, for lack of a better term. It's not trying to wrestle you. It's going down really, really easily.
This is very different than like Kavalan, right? Where,
Is that also from Taiwan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I really love. Which is making way more of kind of a typical Scottish whiskey.
I really love the Kavalan too. I really like this though. I do. Because there is a note that is very unique. And it is that dockside, ocean air type of note that is not the kind of saltiness, the brininess that you get from Scotland.
And we don't know how old it is.
Compared to Scotland, I'm saying, no, there's
Here, finish that. We don't know how old it is, but I'll tell you, it doesn't taste overly young. It doesn't taste too shiny and bright.
Oh, it's a no age statement thing? So this is similar.
Oh, yeah, there's the sherry instantly. You get all those fig fruit notes.
Yeah, but underneath that,
It's the same whiskey.
same whiskey. The figginess, man.
It's musty.
The figginess is for real.
Oh, hey, actually, that's really good. It turned into chocolate aftertaste.
Whoa, raisins too.
Yeah, raisin and chocolate. Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's good.
That barrel difference.
That's way better.
That made a big difference.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I like this more than you because of that weird note. This
makes me want to buy a sherry barrel for our half-peated malt and see what happens.
For a single malt?
Yeah.
Somebody...
They're huge, those sherry barrels.
Somebody in the Patreon put this in one of the lens clips we put up there. And I forgot your name. I'll figure out your name because you should get attribution for realizing the acronym for our single malt of magnificence.
Single mom.
Single malt. Good on you.
This is dessert, man. This is all raisin chocolate.
Yeah.
This is more classic, interesting, slightly salty whiskey.
Unique and different. You would appreciate this one for just nice comfort,
desserty,
classic flavors.
Get the sherry cask, Omar.
Yeah,
those are good whiskeys.
Both of those are
well done.
Both of those are very respectable.
Well done, Michael Phelps.
This is also
including the not swimming thing.
46%. Hey, if you're that guy, hey.
If you're that guy, send us the good stuff.
Yeah, good job swimming. That's one of the benefits of having a weird name like Rex.
Yeah.
There's no one else.
There's just no other.
I actually got RexWilliams.com. Like, who does that?
Well, you got Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah, but he's dead. I don't have to compete with that.
Okay, this is a gift from Jason Unsworth, who I'm pretty sure, well, I think he's 4 deep now. So that might be still...
Jason Unsworth, you magnificent
bastard! I don't think he's the patron saint yet.
Okay.
But...
Oh! It was today, this morning. Chad Hawley. Magnificent bastard Chad Hawley popped in. We got to hang out with him for just a couple of minutes. And then we had to get back to work. But good meeting Chad. Good guy if you see him in the comments somewhere.
So this is a special edition McDonald's Ben Nevis celebrated whiskey.
Scotch.
From Unsworth.
Smoky Scotch.
Now this was to celebrate their 185th year.
Okay.
It's an attempt to recreate a traditional Ben Nevis that was popular in the 1880s, which I think is super cool. The idea to be drinking something that in the 1880s people were like, this is whiskey.
So, question. These trying to replicate bottles from a long time ago type of whiskey projects.
Do they have a bottle to compare it to?
Yes, and the bottles that they do supposedly have. After all of that time, does it really, truly, not in any way, shape, or form, not change in the bottle after all that time? Or is it like a little time capsule?
My understanding is that they are less going off of, let's try this bottle, and more going off of, what would the process have been back then, and let's repeat the process. And then we assume that what we end up with is likely to be what they were drinking back then.
Interesting.
So they're repeating the process itself.
So I would say cool, interesting. I think they could get really close, except for one critical area where they're creating the wash and there's yeast to get the fermentation going there. Okay. Now, I don't think they're going to have as controlled of an environment back then as they do today. And back then I'm thinking, man, there's like the smell of horse in the air. And they got, campfire going 18 feet away.
They were a little more obsessed.
They were controlled?
Yeah.
They were controlled
by that point, yes. By the late 1800s, oh yeah. They were already hyper-controlling of all the processes.
Interesting. Okay, all
right. So, for example, he says, going back in that day, the famous Long John MacDonald.
Yeah.
He was super tall clans leader. He was 6'4". How tall are you?
6'2".
Okay, so... He was not much taller than you, but he was considered to be like a super tall
giant
guy.
Among men.
Yeah.
Right.
So he said, from the research, they know that they source their barley from a specific place. They know where they got the coal for coal heating. They know that they got the peat moss from certain place, so they got the peat moss from there.
Right.
They know how he toasted the barley, so they did that.
Right.
They knew they would have kiln dried it, so they did that. They know it would have been sold at a younger age.
Right.
And they know how it would have been distilled, so they did that. So it's slightly peated.
Okay, let me say this. The smokiness that's coming out of this glass right now, I've also tasted it. what I'm getting out of here isn't modern day peatiness. What I'm getting out from Scotland.
Right.
What I'm getting out of here is modern day smokiness from American whiskeys. That campfire smoke that we often get whenever a distillery in the States smokes
tries
something,
to replicate it.
Tries to replicate
Yeah.
it. They're getting more of a campfire smoke, whereas in Scotland, it's much more of like a meaty, savory, peaty, briny, earthy kind of smoke. I'm getting campfire smoke out of this.
That's interesting.
Out of the taste, see if you get campfire smoke.
Oh, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The ashiness is a veneer.
Yes.
So I think that's how I would describe it. Is in Scotland, it feels like typically peat is threaded through the whiskey.
Yeah.
Like it's just part of its soul. And often in American spirits that are trying to smoke things, it feels like the smoke got added as an after finish. This feels like the smoke taste, the peat smoke, is a veneer finish.
No. Let me
on
say
this
this.
whiskey.
Veneer as in not necessarily a bad thing.
Oh, no.
I actually really like this.
Yeah, but it does feel like it's on the outside, and so it's the beginning, middle, and finish of this whiskey that has this vanilla core.
And I get, for the sweetness, I'm getting fig and apple and then sugar.
I'm getting way more vanilla than I am fig.
MJM Augustine, I really got addicted to watching your videos, guys. Even as a more advanced whiskey drinker, I'm still learning tons of new things. I have a question, however. Do you ever get bored by a type of whiskey? Recently did a bourbon tasting with friends. We sampled 10 different ones. Some were great, others not so much yet. After the last one, we really were happy to enjoy a sip of peated single malt for a change because of all the similar notes in bourbons got really tiring. So we've said this before. When it comes to Scotch and bourbon and Irish, our impression so far has been that there's a spectrum of possible flavors that you're going to get out of whiskey from any given country. For us, Scotch, the spectrum of flavors you can get out of Scotch is really wide, from a really sweet, light, delicate Speyside to a really heavy, challenging, smoky Islay. There's a big range of what you could experience from a bottle from that country. Bourbon is a much narrower spectrum. You can still get a lot of different things, but it's not as much as what you're typically going to get out of something from Scotland. I think we, in our head, just did this once before. The widest spectrum of flavors goes Scotland, then to a lesser extent Ireland, then
I think bourbon, then Ireland.
Bourbon, then Ireland. Okay, Scotland, maybe that was right. Bourbon, then Ireland, then rye. But some recent ryes, man,
Changing the rules on
changing the rules. Yeah.
Add a little water. It opens up some of the sweetness. It cracks through the smoke. You need a little more whiskey for that, though.
That's really nice.
Add a little water, and it cracks through the smoke. So on the questions about do you get bored of things? So I like to explore whiskeys, but keep in mind you're talking to a guy who's worn the same clothes for 2.5 years,
right?
And not gotten tired of it yet.
No, I got tired of it.
I'm not the kind of guy who gets tired of habits.
I get tired of your clothes. Every time I look over, I see this
same person.
guy.
And you can pick me on any day. I'm gonna look exactly the same.
Actually, that's not how you're spotted in the crowd. If Daniel is among people, he will be talking. And you can hear him in a room
From across the room.
of 500 people. You just need to hear that. Oh, he's over there. You can't see him. Shorter than everybody else, but you can hear that.
Oh, Lord. All right, I got a weird one to end this with.
Oh, yeah. The water really tamps down the smoke. Brings up the sweetness. It doesn't make the sweetness that much more complex for me, though. It's still...
So here's the problem with this little baby whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
Is it looks cool. It's from Germany.
The mystery whiskey.
And it's called Bierbrand Negro. Black Django. But the note that came with it said, this is from Thomas and his roommate, LUCA.
We should ask...
So I don't know what their names are.
Well, Thomas and LUCA?
Thomas and
LUCA, you magnificent bastards!
Now, I tried to search information on this. I can't find it anywhere.
We should have asked Horace Luning.
Yeah.
Luning.
He probably would have known.
Luning?
Yeah. So we're gonna try this.
German whiskey.
I don't really know what we're getting here. It's 40% alcohol.
Oh.
I don't even know if it's whiskey or if it's just a beer distilled.
I actually like the nose.
Do you?
I'm coming off of that really hot, smoky thing, so I'm gonna give it a little bit of time before I dive in. The nose is really nice. This tasting is not gonna be fair because we just did that.
Pancake syrup almost.
We just did that smoky scotch.
This is syrupy.
Yeah.
It's sweet vanilla caramel syrup.
Treacle?
It's treacle. Oh, Lord. I also like there's some hops in this, though. I feel like there's hops involved in this.
Yeah. I'm going to give it a minute. We got Brandon Colonel. Oh, cool name. What would you recommend for someone to try if they want to taste the oak flavor and know that's what it is? For instance, when I wanted to know what peat tasted like, I tried Lefroy.
Right.
Now I can identify it by it in any whiskey I buy. Is there any whiskey like that for oak? Man, that Old Forester double oak thing.
Yeah, you got to go to bourbon to really get the best oak, dramatic oak notes because they're using new oak.
Yeah.
All of your scotches are typically using used oak. And so it's a less of an impact. Although you get something like Lefroy and their triple oak and their 4 oak, it's like, wow, it's woody. So if you really want to see what a barrel does best, then you got to use spirits put in a new oak barrel, and that's going to be bourbon, rye, and try some older bourbons or some heavy oak bourbons or some heavy char.
Do you remember what that Old Forester was that had?
1910.
Was it
the last one we just did.
Okay. So
yeah, Christy Martin gave it to us.
We did, I think it was last week, an Old Forester where they put the whiskey in 2 different new oak casks. So it got a tremendous amount of oaking. Super tanniny, lots of bitter finish there. And then we went back and tried just the regular Old Forester for comparison, and even that still had a meaningful amount of oakiness in there. So yeah, Old Forester is a good place to start. All right, this one. Man, I'm getting a lot of maltiness.
Yeah, but I'm getting also the sourness to the sweet now, and I'm getting still more of I'm getting hoppy notes in there.
That is a sweet, funky adventure.
Wow, that taste is a beer. It's a beer. It's a distilled beer.
Yeah. It's a sweet, very, very sweet.
The journey ends really fast, though.
Very sweet distilled beer.
It goes interesting, boom, there's a cliff, and then gone.
With von Hopfen and Gerstill malts.
Yeah, I need my friend William Wittenberg to
I think it has
read this to us.
Hopfen and Gerstill malts. I think it has hops and barley.
Yeah.
Yeah, hops and barley. Cool. Crack that.
Well, if it was from a German beer, then it had to follow the German beer purity laws.
Okay.
Which means that there's only certain ingredients you can put in a beer.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty good. Sweet, beery. Here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight, may you fight for a friend.
If you steal, may you steal a lover's heart.
And if you drink, may you drink with us.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us in the Whiskey Vault. Don't forget to throw in a like, hit that subscribe button on the bottom right, and drop a question or comment down below.